This is one of my favorite poems. It's by a poet named John Gray. It's called L.A. Lore. It was the time to escape the terror of family life, for the tiptoe down the polished edge of a shaving razor of the damned. It was strolling Hollywood Boulevard like following the trail to the cliff, and waiting at the inn was a bar, and slowly a spinning stool, and someone reading Bukowski to his beer. It wasn't the day of locusts exactly. It was at night, when those insects sleep with a low hum, and the kids look for Santa Claus in cruising Buicks, and some old geezer boasts how he kept Monty Cliff supplied in enough coke to make his scars glow. And it weren't just junkies sticking heroin in their veins. It was a city jamming that needle into its avenues and calling it traffic, calling it neon, calling it cops, calling it hustlers, calling it chicken meat. It was a promise like I'd never heard, a promise to clean all this up, to make it whole, like a promise out of the mouths of those screwing you, to pull it out someday. Yeah, it was a time, all right, when I was fresh out of the school of unimportance and wasn't yet ready for what the street corner evangelist beat into his flabby hand with his Bible. I was looking in all the gaudy windows, wondering who buys this shit, and in the faces of the painted hookers, thinking, who loves this shit, and standing outside Cedars of Lebanon, when the ambulances rolled in, sirens roaring, loud as the advice my old man used to give, and hearing its echo beat like bongos in the park, its quaint voodoo revisionism beating itself off like all the secret masturbators who really fuel this world. It weren't like San Francisco, where everything emerged from the mist late morning like its people. This just bubbled out of its tar pits and froze there in the heat. This was the Chinese theater and the ghosts of the famous body parts. This was a rash of stars in the sidewalk and a scattered few in the sky. This was the tattered rage of the end of the world, and from behind my right shoulder I could sense Orson Welles directing it. I was young in an old place, imitating dead people's flair. Damn your eyes, the strangers muttered, to the hollow face of Barrymore. Hiding behind mine, this was someone on the night of their death, and how the rattle kicked up a storm. What colors their diseases wore, what lovely tunes they bellowed into the hellfire gutters.
Who was the author on that?
John Gray.
Oh, okay.
This one, I haven't read this guy in a while, but the other day, for some reason, I was bored and I grabbed the random book off the shelf and it happened to be one of his. And I turned to a random page and I started reading this poem and I thought, okay, I could see reading this down here. It's called Horse on Fire by Charles Bukowski. Bring straight things like a horse on fire. Ezra said, write it so's a man on the west coast of Africa could understand it. And he proceeded to write the cantos full of dead languages, newspaper clippings, and love scenes from St. Liz. Bring straight things in birdlight. The terror of a mouse, grass arms, great stone heads. And reading Canto 90, he put the paper down, as did. Both their eyes were wet. And he told her, among the greatest love poems ever written, Ezra, there are many kinds of traitors, of which the political are the least. But self-appraisal of poetry and love has proved more fools than rebels. I'll read one more. This is another John. John Sweet. I think I've read selections from this collection down here before various times. I don't think I've read this one though. It's called Wars That Never End by John Sweet, from his chapbook, Free Kittens for Dead Slaves. I don't know, I think it's still available for sale somewhere. But it's a kind of an old collection anyway. Wars That Never End. The birds sing on Burnt Hill Road. Broken beer bottles fill the ditches, and rust blooms around bullet holes on road signs. We need enemies to sharpen our teeth on. We communicate best through violence. Our sons run away, our daughters disappear, our wives don't understand. These days are measured in blue skies and dying crops, and our lands grow thick with scar tissue. We have no explanations for the bodies we dig up or the ones we bury. We hold the barbed wire tight in our teeth and learn not to scream. We understand that the wars that never end are the only ones that matter. Thank you.